Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage. I'm Leslie Watkins and today is Paper Crafting Saturday. So I'm going to show you a very cute pop-up, not really a pop-up card, more of an easel back card that you can use to mount your watercolors on. So let's get started. I have a little watercolor that I started some time ago. It was from a stamped image, and I was just experimenting. And I often end up with a lot of these things all over the place, and it's not something that I particularly like, but I put enough work into it that I think I can save it. So I'm just going to add a couple of strokes. I know today's not Watercolor Wednesday, but I just want to show you what I would do to improve this a little bit. So I'm taking some red paint, and I'm just going to add some accents to the centers of these flowers. Just a couple of little strokes using the tip of my brush. And you know, just a few strokes, and I can make this a little more presentable and something that I'd be happy to share with someone. Because my light areas and my middle tones are already established, it doesn't take much. There we go. And then I think the centers of the flowers could use a little more attention. And all I'm going to do there is just give a little indication of some texture. Like so. Okay, it's starting to look a little better now. And I'll just put a couple of touches on the leaves. So I'm mixing up a dark green with yellow and blue. And I'll just put in some of these veins. Okay. Okay, so just a little sketch. Probably not something you'd want to frame, but certainly something that you could use on a note card that somebody would be very happy to have. So this is the easel back card. Get you out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is a standard size card. This is 8.5 by 5.5. That's not right. Let's just check that. Eight and a half. Yes, okay. 8.5 by 5.5. So it's not quite standard. But we're going to go with this today because I've already cut my paper. All right, so the way I did that was I took a piece of thick cardstock. This is very vanilla cardstock. And on the 8.5 edge to the side, I'm putting it in the trimmer at 5.5. And the reason I'm going with this size is because it fits the artwork that I just did. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it sideways at 4.25. And I'm just going to score that in the center. Then I'm going to take 4.25 and divide that by 2, and I get 2 1/8. So I'm going to score that there. So that gives me a configuration that looks something like that. All right, so I want to burnish those edges really well. It is a standard size card. It threw me a minute because I'm going the in the landscape mode rather than the typical portrait mode for this one. All right, so that is our basis. So you get this little tent configuration here that folds upwards in a standing position and stays flat to fit into an envelope. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, what I want is to mount my image on some cardstock so that it looks like a little French mat. So I've cut out 2 complementary colors. I'm picking up the green and the pink in this case. This is Petal Pink. This is Old Olive. And I trimmed this mat down so it just peeks around this torn edge, this sort of decal edge that I have. I want the darker mat to accent the art. And then I'm using this lighter color, the Petal Pink, just to pick up on the pink in the picture. And I'm going to glue all that down. So somebody asked me recently about using the liquid glue, saying that they were having some trouble getting the glue to come out. All you need to do is just tap it. Now I keep my glue in a little glass near my desk like this, and I keep it in there upside down, and that makes sure that all the glue stays at the tip end. And then if you're still having an issue, just check to see that there's not a little dried up cap on the nozzle. And then running the glue, I start in the center, not at the edge. I start in the center and I come to the edge and I run the glue about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And I run the glue with the nozzle touching the paper like a ballpoint pen. And that way you should be able to control the glue. There we go. Now I don't mind that the edges lift a little bit here. I want it to have that kind of a rough, torn look about it. So that's okay. And then what I do is I take my bone folder and I distribute the glue by running it gently in various directions. And that should spread the glue so that it's got a nice even coat. There we go. I think I want it this way. Okay, so now we just need to do the same thing here. I'm just going to slide that into place so I have a nice even border all around, and then burnish it. And there's our matted artwork. So this is going to go on our card like this. So first I just want to see how much room I have to get that centered. So I have a little bit. I want to raise this up slightly towards the top to give me a little bit more room at the bottom. And you'll see why in just a minute. So I'm just going to put a little pencil line to indicate where that's going to be. And then also I can measure, and I can see that that's about halfway. So making sure I have the top up, I'm only going to apply the glue in the bottom portion, like so. And now, using my pencil line to guide the placement, I can get that all squared up. Okay, I'm just going to put that aside to dry for a moment. Now let's say that this is going to be a birthday card for somebody. I have my label punch here. I think this is Label Me Fancy. I forget the name of this. This is the new label that just came out in the set. And I'm going to use a sentiment, Happy Birthday from Peaceful Moments. And I'm going to use old olive ink to coordinate with the mat that I just placed on the card. Here we go. I'm going to punch that out, get it nice and centered. And then I'm going to take some of the old olive scrap I have left over. I'm going to punch a piece of that. And then I'm going to just snip this in half, so I have a little edge on each side. Putting a little glue, a little glue just like that. And that just gives it a little extra something around the edge to make it stand out more. Same thing here. Okay. All right, so there's my happy birthday. And now I'm going to take some dimensionals and I'm just going to pop that up a couple of dimensionals, like so. And then this is going to be the stopper. Make sure I get that in the center. And that's going to be the stopper that holds the card up. Now I want to add a few more things to this. This is the leaf punch, which unfortunately is retiring. So if you like this punch, you have just a, well, I don't know, I guess it's while supplies last. So you have to check the retiring list to see if they're still available. But I use this punch quite a bit. I really like it, and I will show you why. So if I take out a few of these, what I like to do is just give it a little fold in the center of the leaves. And I just pinch the tips to give them a little more dimension. So I'm going to do that to all of these. Get that one. There we go. Can you hear the rooster Otello? He wants to go out. He wants to join the rest of the flock. We have a beautiful sunny day today. It's nice and warm, so I'm going to go outside and let the chickens have a little run around in a minute. Okay, so there are my little leaf shapes. And what I want to do is just tuck them in around my sentiment, like so. I think I'm going to snip this one. So I've got some glue dots here. I'm just going to grab a couple of those. Put that in there. So yesterday, the May issue of Notes went out, and it has a listing of all of the classes I have coming up in May. If you'd like to learn more about those classes, please subscribe to Notes at dandelioncottage.com, and you will get a copy, and you'll be able to see what's coming up. There are going to be 3 classes this month. I'm really kind of excited because one of them will be a gift box with gift cards. Another one will be beginning watercolor. And the third one will be painting with ink, which I think will be particularly interesting to folks that like to do stamping. So check those things out, see if there's something there that you might like. All right, so there, we're almost finished. The last thing I'd like to add are a couple of these champagne rhinestones. So I'm going to go for this middle-sized one, and I'm just going to put that, tuck that in with the leaves. Maybe one tiny one. If I can grab the little tiny one. There we go. And I'll just put that one next to Happy Birthday. Okay, folks. So there you have a very cute birthday card that you can send somebody. It folds flat to fit in an envelope. And they can prop it up on their desk or their shelf and enjoy your pretty little watercolor. So I hope you like that. Here's the website information. if you go there, you will find the button to subscribe to Notes, and then I will get that out to you as soon as possible. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on Monday for Marvelous Monday. Enjoy the day. See you soon.